Hey, Shalom. First of all, to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kwakadash, Yahweh the worldly calls God, Yahweh Shai the worldly calls Jesus. Want to give it up honor to the apostles. A great millstone who has taught me this truth. Want to give peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth who teach the truth and risk their life to do so. It's a quick video in transit, loading videos edifying to your Akim and your Akwat that may come across the video. Quick video, man. We had a couple things I just wanted to mention. We had did a sit down yesterday about how lawless, Esau is getting, right? And as we progress and go on, it's going to get worse. Because you got to understand that, when this devil was put under pressure, right, there's no such thing as a treaty. There's no such thing as an agreement. There's no such thing as a promise that he keeps. When that pressure start hitting, and he's losing his power, he gonna act out of he gonna act, and you're gonna see them horns, man. Jake is, and you're starting to see him now, right? You saying they're saying that ICE agents are gonna go door to door, and they could go in a crib without a search warrant. Without a search warrant, man. What does that tell you? What is that showing you? You don't see what times we're in, and then it's like, because you got niggas that always say, oh, you got to beat the white man with his law. Well, that's not how you beat the white man. You beat the white man by coming back to who you are and coming back to the Lord, Yahweh Shai. The Father name is Yahweh, the Son name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, coming back to your power. That's the only way. That's the only way you can escape. That's the only way, you can have any defense or protection. That's the only way. It's not about learning the law and learning the law of America and beating the so-called white man with his law. Because he changed it on your ass. Because you can't beat him with power. Right? You can't beat him with power, man. And you niggas ain't gonna bust a grape. And I'm not encouraging you to, because you don't understand this man's blessing. And that's not the way we win anyway. Because they say, mass change can't come unless it's mass bloodshed. And that's true. That's true. But right now, like Micah 2:10 scripture said, this is not our rest. Right now ain't the time to be taking up arms and, going against who's in power. That's not how you go against them. The scripture said weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And scriptures also say be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So, we got to move smart. And the smartest thing to do is coming back. The smartest thing to do is coming back to the Lord, man. That's the smartest thing you could do. It's the most beneficial thing you could do. It's the most profitable thing you could do. Other than that, if the Lord don't have any mercy on you, then you're going to be left out here. Just in Romans, it says that he beareth not the sword in vain. This Edomite don't bear the sword in vain, man. His blessing is a sword. He's going to live by the sword. He's going to make rules so he can use the sword, man. Come on. Come on, man. You got a lot of Jake that love the enemy. Love the so-called white man. You love, especially Northern Kingdom. Like where I'm from, it's a lot of Northern Kingdom. Right? A lot of Northern Kingdom, man. Right? And you got some Northern Kingdom that swear up and down that they Spaniard and they love white people and this and that, and the whiter they are, the more beautiful they are. And if you got blonde hair, blue-eyed Latinas, man. You know what I'm saying? And Latinos, and they're like held to a higher standard, or held to a higher they're looked at as like the pinnacle to be for Issachar, man, for some Issachar. But when you go into their houses, right, you see blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus, you see Mary, you see all the angels, you see all the Catholic, idols that they have in a house, and they all be Edomites. You know what I mean? But you're finding out now that, oh yeah, this devil don't fuck with you either. Fuck y'all thought it was. You thought you could shuck and jive to some mercy? No, you can't. This devil don't fuck with you either, man. He look at you like a nigga too. Okay? None of these nations fuck with us, man. Right? The Assyrians, man, put Northern Kingdom into captivity. Northern Kingdom got attacked first, if I'm not mistaken. when we came out of Egypt. They wanted to, yeah. In Judah, which when I say Judah, I'm talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Negro tribes. We were the last to leave the land. You know, we were the last to leave the land, man. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the Northern Kingdom was, I mean, you know, got taken into captivity. And then when you read in, what is that, Second Esdras, the 10th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it tells you how, you know, basically the Northern Kingdom came and fled to the Americas, man. You know, so they could perform, you know, they could keep the laws, you know, and the Most High, and, you know, get back to, you know, our culture. And that's why you had Gadites that had Hebrew symbols on their headbands. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Four Corners, right, you got Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah. I think right in there, man, you have those stones that have Hebrew writing on them, man. Okay. It was said that Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter over this way, you know. It was said that, you know what I mean, that was true. And I don't even think he made it to I think he made it to the islands. But anyway, you know. Anyway, but in this movie, it's a clip. You could look at it on YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, it mentioned that he used the Book of Esdras, because the Book of Esdras tell you how the Northern Kingdom got here, like what route, what route they took, navigation they used. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the scriptures is true. When you go into First Maccabees and you read about Antiochus, you know, which is an Edomite, you see why. You know what I mean? And it's many stories in the Book of Maccabees, but you see why that they wanted that history to be hid. You see why. It's like, damn, y'all did all this? They did all that, man. Everything. Everything. They wanted they ransacked the temple. They hung our infants, our babies, our toddlers by their necks. You know what I'm saying? They killed women that had their sons circumcised, and our children, and then they came with smooth talk, and then performed more wicked acts after that, and then the decree was put out that all people should be one, which Esau is always trying to do that, man. Make everybody one, which only ministers confusion. A Babylonian system could never work because you don't know who's who, and not everybody's the same. It's the reason why, see, these heathen nations don't have gods, but they have practices that they do which are wicked, right? The 12 tribes of Israel, we have the Most High, which is the only God, okay? Which, like, that's why bros in the camp, all of us, you know, the tribes may vary. It might be Judah in the camp. It might be Zebulun in the camp. It might be Asher in the camp. It might be Issachar in the camp, right? It might be Benjamin or Levi in the camp, right? All different. It might be Gad in the camp, right? You might have all different tribes in the camp, but we all go back to one. We all have different attributes, different things that we do, different styles, but it all goes back to righteousness. It all goes back to the Lord. It all goes back to Yahweh Shai. Right? These other nations, you got Elam that worships something completely different than Moab. You got Moab that worships something completely different than Japheth. You got Esau that worships something completely different and do something completely different than Ishmael. You know what I'm saying? So you have those differences, and what happens is when you have a Babylonian military or a Babylonian system, you open the door for sleeper cells. So you don't know who the fuck is who. You know what I mean? You got Russians in the military. You got Chinese people in the military. You got Koreans in the military. You got Iranians in the military. You don't know who, man. You know? When you mix nations, it ministers confusion. Not everybody's supposed to be one. It's beauty in difference. There's beauty in difference. Like, that's why all the tribes, right? We're slightly different. You know, some of us are alike, but even the ones that are alike is still different. You got the Latino tribes; they all now speak Spanish, but even within the Spanish is different. How they speak it, the accent, right? How it come off, how they talk with their hands, and you know how to, you know, just things be different. Issachar talk completely different than Simeon or Ephraim. Even them, Simeon and Ephraim, they speak different. You could tell the difference between the two. You know what I mean? That's what people don't understand, man. Like, you can't mix everybody as one. You know, they tried to do with the Tower of Babel, but the Lord, you know, destroyed that. Everybody got different language. You know what I'm saying? So it's beauty. When something's unique in a righteous way, it's beauty in it. Okay, it's beauty in it, man. You know, but back on these devils, you know, they don't like what we speak. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that we bring in the truth, because the truth exposes this place. It lifts up the skirt on it, right? We breaking down prophecy, and everything that they're doing is according to prophecy. And once people get their eyes on that, like, oh wait, hold on, man, these guys are telling the truth. So that's gonna wake more Jake up. You know what I mean? I saw a video today. This Edomite looking woman on Instagram. You know, she was saying, you know, nah, you know, those Negroes are the true biblical tribe of Judah. But they are. They are. You know, she was saying it, man. You know what I mean? And whether you niggas believe it or not, that's the truth. Is she a Edomite? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of Jake that look like every other nation, and that's so basic. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand the truth. When it was said, "Oh, who was these multitude?" and you know, he was like, "Well, you know what I mean? You had different people that you had different people. You know what I mean? You had different Jakes that look like different nations. You know, Jake that look like Esau. You got Jake that look like Elam. You got Jake that look like Moab. You know, you got Jake that look like Ishmael. You know what I'm saying? You have that. You have these things, and the reason why you have them is because what was one of the curses of Jake? Well, one of the curses that will be, obviously we'll go into captivity, but basically we'll be spread across the four corners of the earth. You know, where Jake, wherever we land at, man, we popping. You know what I'm saying? We popping, man. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. That's just Jake for you. You know what I mean? That's just Jake, man. That is just Jake for you, man. Okay? That's how that go. You know what I mean? So it's hard, and it's so simple, right? You got, you know, these niggas, they'll sleep with a white woman and then have a son, and their son will sleep with a white woman, have a son, and then their son, and then they don't understand, oh shit, my grandson look white. Wait, his grandson look white, but he's an Israelite. Because it's by way of your father. When you read the scriptures, you get your lineage from your father, not your mother. That's what it is. It's just what it is, man. That's the truth of the matter. You know, but yeah, I would say, you know, expect more lawless activity and expect more of the horns to come out. You know what I mean? These devils, man, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, and if you don't have the Lord, man, right now is the time to build that relationship and get right. If you don't have the Lord, then you ain't got nothing, man, you know? So with that, man, Lord, videos edifying, lonely, I got something from this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKadosh. I want to tell you, brothers, keep pushing on to the next. Shalom.